Hi y'all, welcome to Donna's Farmhouse Kitchen. Well, today I'm going to be making you my very favorite cake. I think it is. If it's not the favorite, it's very close. It's a little time consuming just because part of it is cheesecake and part of it is carrot cake. So it is a carrot cake cheesecake, and I've already made you the ultimate cheesecake. Well, that's what's going to go in the middle of this. And so that's on another video, but I'm going to show it to you all over again in this video. So that's what we're going to start with, is the cheesecake. And you want to do that one first because you need to let it sit in the refrigerator for like 4 hours or so before you put these together. I will tell you, after making the icing and putting the cake together, before you put the icing on the top, you want to put some sticks in the middle. And this is what I'm going to use just to, these are chopsticks. I took them apart and I'm going to put them in the middle, put them in the cake, and you'll see that happen. So I'm going to do that just to keep the cake together, because it can slide a little bit and we don't want that to happen. So, because I've had that happen before. So we want to keep it together with chopsticks. So let's get started with the crust part, okay? So first thing I have is 1 cup of graham crackers, 1/3 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/2 cup of finely chopped pecans. In fact, I used my little chopper to chop these up. They were already the chopped peanuts, but I wanted them finely chopped for a crust. And I've been doing this for years, putting pecans in my crust. And I just love the taste. So let's go ahead and get this mixed up a little bit. And then we're gonna add in 6 tablespoons of melted butter. But I like to do this so it's mixed up very well before putting in the butter. Kind of mash up the pieces of sugar that may be sitting around. There's one right there. Okay. Now let's add the melted butter, and of course it's unsalted butter because that's what I use most of the time. If you want a little extra flavor in your food, in your crust, whatever you're making, you can always add salted butter for extra flavor, because salt always enhances anything that you're making. So you can use salted butter in here. I just always use the unsalted most of the time. We want to get this in here so we can press it down into my pan. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've already done to my pan. I've also already put baking spray on my pans for my carrot cake. I was so scared that I was going to forget to put it on there and just throw the batter in there. So go ahead and just take care of all the pans at one time. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Now what I've done to my pan is I've already cut out some parchment paper and laid it down in. I took off the bottom of the pan and cut around it. That's the easiest way to do it. And then you just put it back together and pop this in the bottom, okay? But I've also have it covered in foil. So I took 2 sheets. I took 2 sheets of foil and I crossed them, and then kind of folded them in and made my way around until I got this. So this is to protect it, and then make sure it's nice and tight around it, because you're going to be putting this in a water bath. Let me show you that. And I filled it part of the way up. You don't want it no more than halfway up your pan once it sits down into your bath. So There we go. That's pretty perfect. Okay, but we're not using this yet. We are going to put this in the oven after we make the crust, but I just wanted to show you that. Now I'm going to Well, it's nighttime now. It's been a very busy day of taping. So I've actually done 3 videos today, but now I'm gonna finish up on this cake. So we're gonna start off with the cream cheese. So it's been softening 1 block of cream cheese. We're gonna beat this and scrape down the sides until it's nice and smooth. Now I'm gonna add 1 stick of butter. This is unsalted butter that I have softened. Now we're gonna mix these together until they're well combined and smooth. Now we're gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You start off slowly, and then once you get the powdered sugar combined, you can put it up a little higher. And make sure you scrape down the sides. Now I'm going to add a cup of chopped pecans and just put it on low just to mix it up. Go ahead and scrape off all the icing in the pecans. You can always, and I was going to do it, just fold in the pecans, that's fine. Now you can see the icing. And now it's time to assemble the carrot cake cheesecake. So go ahead and take the spring off. First thing I'm gonna do is put the carrot cake down on top of my cake dish, because we're just gonna layer from here and ice from here. You can always clean up around the edges, you know, the icing up around the edges. So that's no problem. I'm gonna put a thin layer of icing on top. Try to get some of those pecans over here too. Okay. And then you take the parchment paper off of the cheesecake, and you have your nice bottom. You're going to put that right on top, just like that. Make sure it's nice and even all the way around. Put a little icing on top of the cheesecake. And then you're gonna top it with the other carrot cake. Now we're gonna ice it. And if you want more icing, you can always double this recipe. And before I go any further, I forgot to do one thing, and that was these. If I can break them in half and get them down in there. And there's your carrot cake cheesecake. Maybe I should cut a piece. I am taking this to work tomorrow, but I think they'll be okay without one piece in it. And that's what it looks like on the inside. Look at that yummy cheesecake. It's nice and creamy. I have to try it. Oh, I can hear the moistness. That's crazy, isn't it? But I can hear the moistness in the carrot cake. And in the cheesecake. Okay, I guess I better stop eating and say goodbye. But thank you so very much for sharing this video and for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.